welcome everyone and welcome Diana. Would you like to start by introducing yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Diana. I'm a computer science student at the University of Waterloo, but more importantly, I'm an MCI Music alumni.
And would you like to tell us what wonderful instrument you played when you were at MCI?
I played the viola. It was a great time.
Very exciting. One of the more controversial instruments, but definitely a great instrument. All right, well, why don't we take a few steps back, a couple years back. You're in grade 9, 10, 11, and 12, and you decided to take music throughout all those years. Why did you do so?
Ooh, I don't know. I guess I felt like among all the other subjects I was taking, I really needed an art course and I really needed something that I was familiar with. And because I'd been lucky enough to have music in the past and had a good experience with it, I kept taking it because the music community at MCI is just one of the best communities, I think. It's so friendly. Um, Everyone's so supportive. And it always felt, whenever I went to class, it felt like different from high school. It felt like its own little universe in the school. And so
Yes.
it was kind of just not even a choice for me. I just kept taking it because it just felt like natural.
Exactly. And like it's also super great when you like build connections within your junior years and then you like tape music with those people in your senior years too. And then like it just becomes that much better and just like I have to take music because I want to be with these people. I want to be part of this community.
Exactly. Yeah.
We have a lot of music students right now, and we're looking to have even more music students in the future, hopefully. So what can they expect as a music student? Obviously, we talked about how great the community is, but what about the other aspects?
Well, you can expect, I always thought of music as a very colorful program because it touches on a lot of different things. You can expect to, play different kinds of pieces, maybe some jazz, maybe it depends, I guess, what instrument, but maybe some orchestral pieces. It's really diverse that way. And then you also can expect to do some theory. So if you're curious about why a composer, decided to do a harmony in that way or something, you can learn about that. Of the supportive community is a big part of it as well. I don't know if repertoire is going to be happening, the repertoire courses, but those, at least during my time, it was a nice part in the evenings where you could go to school and just kind of play in an orchestra.
Yeah,
And yeah,
I think we're currently vouching for repertoire to start up again, and hopefully it will next year. But that's also like a really great part of our program that we had. All right. Well, speaking of playing different kinds of music and learning about theory, those are both great skills. But what other skills did you learn from playing music, and how did they help you with like your life in general, your program right now? How has like music helped you become a better person?
I think one of the best things about music that differentiates it from all the other subjects is because when you're doing math or science or English, the way you get better at it is all in your brain. You just sit there and you do a bunch of problems or you write a bunch of essays, and it all kind of follows the same format. Where with music, there's no one way to play a piece, there's no one way to practice. It's very open ended. And only now that I've gone into university have I appreciated just how much room it gives you to learn in so many different aspects. It's same with the, like I said, doing assignments where you like there's not one way to approach it and there's a lot of things you have to consider. I think kind of the physical practicing aspect of music and like learning different ways to interpret a piece, those skills of, the patience, the
Yeah.
curiosity, and just willingness to keep learning have been very like integral to my whole university life so far.
Yeah, for sure. It's also great how music is like, as you mentioned, it's like a different thing. It's not your study a bunch of things and do a test and then forget all of that and move on, right? It's like you keep building on those skills and there's like different ways for each person to approach it. Maybe one person wants to do studies and another person wants to play pieces and get better. And it just like helps you build that a kind of like you will get better over time and like there's actual results where it's like, oh, I can take the derivative of this equation. And everyone else like, okay, but like when I'm in grade 9, I could barely play anything. And now I can play these like really complicated pieces. And it's like a great thing with that too.
exactly. And it's multilateral, like right? It's not one way. You like learn
Yeah.
a bunch of different alleys.
Another one of the skills that I know that I've really learned from music is time management because obviously high school is busy and I assume university is even busier. So how did you what was your experience with learning time management?
Yeah, I think that's another thing I learned from music as well, because you have to make time to practice, right? And it takes longer to get good at something. And so, just like in university, where the concepts are a little more, take more time to perfect, um, I've kind of learned to manage my time to set aside like a good chunk for just practicing something and just knowing, even though like my point isn't to get all the questions right, but it's to learn and take away as much as I can from them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's great that music teaches us skills that are not just playing, they're applicable to other aspects of our life too. We did mention practicing. Do you have any other practice like tips or maybe some habits that you developed in your later years that you found really useful for us high school music students?
Ooh, I think one thing I found really useful in terms of like managing when you practice is just do it first thing when you're done your classes or when you get home. Just practice first thing. I find for some reason when I practice when it's daylight outside, I feel much happier and much more productive because otherwise I just get started on homework and I'd say, okay, I'm going to practice later, later, later. And then it's
Yeah.
already 9 o'clock and you just feel so tired and you don't want to do it. So kind of just try doing it as the first thing, first part of homework.
It's also a great way to like start off your day. Maybe it's a Saturday morning and you're like, okay, I have a bunch of things to do. You start with an hour of practicing that gets you really motivated, hyped up, and it makes like the rest of your day also more fun, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I find I even do that now. Like I don't have to practice for anything, but
Mhm.
like on Saturdays, like you said, I'll start off the day just playing the piano a bit, and then I feel a little like more relaxed. I'm ready
Yeah.
for homework.
Let's say I am a student that is currently taking or maybe thinking of taking music next year. What is one piece of advice you would give me, especially like with all the COVID and whatever else is going on in the world? What is one piece of advice that you would give to me, a music student or future music student?
I think the main advice I would give is to just go for it, just do it. As simple as it is, just don't be afraid to try something new if this is something new for you, or don't be afraid to try something different. um, I know a lot of the time, especially online, there's hesitation around new things because you're just in a routine and you're just trying to do as much as you can already. But I
Yeah.
think opening up to music and opening up to something that really diversifies and kind of enhances your perspective is just has so many benefits. So just go for it. If you want to, even a little bit, you just want to try it, just try it out.
Yeah, I love that advice. Just like go for it because a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm not good," or I don't know if I'm going to have time for it. But like you go for it, and then you realize how great it is. And hopefully, a lot of our future students will take that advice. Well, thank you, Diana, for your time. Thank you for providing us with such great information and like sharing your experiences of Martin Grove music with us. Any last words?
Oh, thank you. I don't know. Music is just great. It's like one of the best parts of my life. So just go for it. And I love you, MCI Music. You're great.